And good afternoon. So I didn't always know that financial literacy was a passion of mine until I realized how deprived I was without it. You know, working 14, 16-hour days and still living paycheck to paycheck. I stand before you all as a 34-year-old woman holding 3 degrees, 2 bachelor's and 1 master's, all by the age of 23, yet I did not become financially aware until I was 28 when I officially took my position here at SecureFutures. But don't worry, I did a lot of research before I got into the classroom with the students. That's because before then, I was stuck in a generational curse, or some will say a cycle. Let's take a trip back. Grew up in the inner city Milwaukee, mother on drugs, father incarcerated. My siblings and I went from one house to the next, and our main focus was making sure we had a roof over our head and food in our mouths. So whether that was staying at a local shelter, a relative's home, or meeting our mother outside of the grocery store near the garbage can to dig out what they threw the night before because that was dinner. That was our reality. We never really had conversations about finances because we were focused on surviving. Lucky for me, I happened to play basketball, and I happened to be good at it. And because of that, it opened up so many doors and presented so many opportunities, from allowing me to see outside of the inner city, meeting some amazing people, and being the first person in my family to attend and graduate college. Now, I was so eager to escape my environment, not realizing the habits learned within that cycle would only lead me back to that same environment. As an adult, I too am appreciative of SecureFutures. So why am I so passionate? Because not everyone is good at basketball or has a special skill that will allow them to see outside of their norm. I look at some of my peers and some of the youth we serve and watch them live paycheck to paycheck, living to survive the day and not planning for the future, and that hurts. I had to learn the hard way because of systems that were placed before me, but I also learned that education is the gateway out of poverty. So for me, I feel it is our duty, I strongly believe it is our duty. When we are in a position to help, we should. When we know better, we do better, and we should always reach back to help those who are coming after us. I take pride in my role here at SecureFutures because every time a student texts me, calls me, emails me with a question or to share an accomplishment, that lets me know that we're making a difference and we are disrupting a cycle. I get up every day excited to do the work that we do because although every story is different, I see so much of myself in the youth that we serve. And as I prepare to bring life into this world, breaking generational cycles is my priority through education and changed behavior. So what does financial literacy mean to me? Freedom, opportunity. You don't always see the impact right away. In most cases, we're planting seeds. But the beauty is, it is so important to have that financial education foundation because that's the root. Thank you all for listening to my story and allowing me to share my passion with you all. As a program manager, I can sketch the most beautiful picture for you, but without the students to paint the picture, it has no value. Please help me welcome former Money Coach alum, Ryan Graham.
Hello, everybody. First and foremost, I want to extend a thank you to SecureFutures for the opportunity to be here tonight and share the impact that Money Coach has had on me. As mentioned, my name is Ryan Graham. I currently live in Minnesota, and I work at Accenture as a tech analyst. Outside of Accenture, I am a founder and the CEO of a collegiate keepsake company. Really fancy way of saying I sell snow globes that create student scholarships at my alma mater. Growing up, as I mentioned, I'm excited to be here. I grew up, born and raised here in inner city Milwaukee, 53206 to be specific. And growing up in one of the highest incarcerated and most underserved communities in Milwaukee, I really understood early on in my life, what it meant and the stress that it caused on the individual, the family, and the overall community when you don't have any money or financial education background. In fact, one of my earliest memories that I had was when I was 4 years old. I recall my family and we lived right across the street from an Aldi. It was on Hampton. I think it's like a McDonald's now. And at the time, I wanted some cereal, and so I went into the kitchen, poured myself a bowl of cereal, and realized we didn't have any milk. And so, I went to my dad, and I asked him if we could go to the store right across the street to grab a gallon of milk. And I remember just being so frustrated and sad because he explained to me that he was sorry, we didn't have any money, and if I wanted cereal, I would have had to use powdered milk. And so I sat there crying as I ate my bowl of cereal, water, and powder, and I promised myself that as I got older, I wouldn't be in a situation like that on my own accord. Fast forward to when I was 16 years old, I had my first job lined up, and through my job, I was introduced to Money Coach, and that's really where I was given my first opportunity at financial literacy, financial classes. And the first thing that really stood out to me with Money Coach immediately was the fact that they gave me coaches and facilitators that looked like me. And that was really important to me because it helped to change my mindset around money management, because the facilitators were able to teach me about finances within the culture, the context of my culture, which was really good at making it stick at the time. Outside of that, I got to do cool things like setting my budget for the first time, setting up different saving and spending goals. I saved up like $6,000 within a year to buy my first car, no car note. Shout out to Jeremy over there. He was my driver's ed teacher. Thank you. And overall, I was really just blown away by Money Coach's personal investment that they had with the students. And it continued with me as I went through college as well. As I was involved in the Money Coach Alumni Committee, they would always send out different resources to kind of help out and make sure that I continued my savings habits. So I would say in general, Money Coach really emphasized the value and importance of getting started early and being very intentional with your finances. It's been about 7 years since I was a Money Coach, and I have learned a lot since then, but I've also realized that there's a lot more that I still need to learn. And so one thing that I really appreciate about Money Coach was that I'm now able to approach new financial situations with a level of confidence over fear, intentionality over impulses, and patience over instant gratification. And I think all of that combined really gave me a core level of financial literacy that's really allowing me to create and live the life and future that the 4-year-old me always dreamed of. And because of that reason, I'm incredibly passionate about Money Coach. It has a special place in my heart. And I know that other students in inner city Milwaukee need programs like this because, frankly, we don't have it at home. The education material is good. And I think that Money Coach has really found a formula that works and motivates students. Thank you.